Okay, sorry, I'll do a quick check. I think we were waiting for Miss Ning and Chin Min. So while waiting, if you are on your laptop, you can see that I've sent an email, and in the email I've given some links. One of the link is to the STEAM website. Another link is for the SOW and the rubrics, so they can have a look at them. I've also provided 2 links to students' websites, of which I found 2 websites that have almost completed their work. And just wanted to show you some of the possibilities of what we can expect to see. So there are a few tabs, and I think if you like to, you can open up those tabs to have a look. Okay, and sorry, I think you're probably seeing a box blocking the view. At the moment, that box is the box where all our participants are. So I'm trying to check who's here. Okay. I think almost everyone is here. I left Miss Ning, but I think I will begin first so that we can end on time also. Okay, so right now I think you should only see one small little box blocking the very top, the icon area. Okay, but I think the most of it should be able to see. Okay, thank you everyone for joining this morning. So we'll try to end at 9:35. Today the agenda is just to, number 1, look back at term 1. Second part will be to look forward to term 2, just share what to expect. And last but not least, term 1 submissions, so that you can get an idea of what we might see being submitted this Friday, which is tomorrow. Okay, so first and foremost, term 1, what have our teams been doing in term 1? Okay, short of them doing a lot of last minute work, they have also been learning a lot of skills and upgrading themselves. So one of the first things that they've been doing is to go for workshops. Okay, so one of the things they have been going that they went for was to go for workshops with Nanyang Poly as well as an industry specialist. Our students got to sign up for a variety of different workshops that they made. So most of them went for their first choice. And Nanyang Poly students, senior year students, taught them a variety of skills. So a group of students also went for a lecture conducted by Mr. John, who works at Secret Labs. So he taught them insider hacks on how to sketch, how to take photos. In this next page, I just want to show you a quick video just to give you an idea of what our students did while they were at the workshops. So that was the behind the scenes of the workshops that our students went for. Just like to update everyone on what our students should be equipped by now. There are around 6 to 5 members per team. Each one of them went for a different workshop. I think the idea of why we wanted to send one student for one workshop is because we want each of them to be specialized in a skill. And when they come back to the team, they will have 6 people or 5 people with different skills each that they can bring back to the table. I think in previous years, I think some students may feel like, hey, they don't know what to contribute to the team, just follow instructions from the leaders. But now each one has a skill that they can contribute back. And I think the idea is for them to work together and contribute where they feel can help bring the project to the next level. So what are they equipped with now? Number one, they should be able to do 3D modeling using a software called Tinkercad. This is useful for number one, prototyping. They can prototype things in 3D that they can show you. Or number two, they can even send these prototype models for 3D printing in our schools. We have 3D printers in schools that they can utilize. And Arthur has bought a whole lot more of filaments, plastic filaments to do so. Number two, they can also do 2D design for laser cutting. We have laser cutters in the school. So if students want to cut things in 2D with great precision, they can do so. Number three, they've also gone for product marketing lecture by Mr. John. He taught some simple sketching hacks. He taught some simple photography hacks and how to document the process that they've done. They've also went for Google Sites design workshop conducted by myself. So they should know how to make use and maximize all the features on Google Sites. One member of the team also knows how to do cardboard modeling, which involves not just the typical stick and paste things, but they know how to slice in the cardboard so that it can even bend and create round structures. And last but not least, they also now know how to do app prototyping, which should allow them to create simple apps if they are intending to create apps. If our students find that they cannot remember what they learned from the workshop, or yourself, you would like to see what the students learn and also upskill yourselves, on the STEAMentor website, I've uploaded all the workshops that have been recorded, and you can go there to watch the videos, or you can send your students there to watch the videos as a recap. So think of the STEAMentor website as a good resource portal. It is a portal where students can share and learn from each other. They can look back at their time in STEAMentor. On the very home page of the STEAMentor website, if you scroll to the bottom, okay, so now at the top, you'll see a banner of the different events they went for. And if you scroll to the bottom, you can see all the different website links to your groups. So eventually, when it comes to grading your groups, you will largely just need to go to this STEAMentor website, click on your group, and it should bring you to their website where you can grade their website and what they've done so far. Okay, so the idea is to create a portal where they can constantly learn and share from each other and also look back at their time. So this is what they are equipped with now. Just yesterday, they listened to guest speakers from Crunch Cutlery who shared with them their prototyping process on how they created edible spoons to solve the plastic waste problem in Singapore, as well as poor nutrition. I've left a box of Crunch Cutlery of their product sample so that you can also try it for yourself and you can have see whether you like their product. You can give me feedback and I can give it to them. There are 3 flavors: banana, goji, brown caramel oats, and also strawberry. They advise that you eat it with dessert because alone it can taste rather bland, of which that's what our children did, and then they complain, say, how come it will taste so bad? Okay, but it's meant to be healthy, so it's not meant to be packed with sugars. Okay, so that's term 1. This is what our students are equipped with, and as we move into term 2, we hope that these skills that they are equipped with can help level up their prototypes. Okay, so now a brief idea of term 2. What can we expect in term 2? In term 2, there's largely 2 key submissions. And it is due in term 2, week 5, Friday, 22nd April, 4 p.m. After term 2, week 5, term 2, week 6, there'll be a break, 1 week break. And then after that, their mid-year exams will begin. So timeline is quite tight when we go back to term 2. Our students need to be more on the ball, unlike this particular term if they've been doing last minute work. Okay, so what to expect in term 2? Number 1, they have to submit their first prototype. Okay, this time they are building their idea in real life. Number 2, there'll be peer feedback. So this is roughly what the timeline will look like. In term 2, week 1, they will come back. One of the things they should do is to meet up with us as mentors and discuss which of the many ideas that they have crafted in their sketches they want to bring to life. Okay, so that's what they should confirm by term 2, week 1. After which, term 2 week 1 all the way to term 2 week 5 is them building that prototype. As they build along the way, in term 2 week 3, they should meet us mentors again for progress update. And finally, in term 2 week 5 is when we will formally grade their first prototype. I also want the students to meet us mentors in the last week to show us the features of their prototype. Okay, because I understand some groups have been meeting over Zoom. Face-to-face meeting will be really good for them to practice some presentation skills. Everyone is there, everyone can look at each other and they can demonstrate their prototype. Okay, I've also heard some feedback that students, are doing very last-minute work. I think it's natural when they will do last-minute work, because when they prioritize things that are graded and not graded, they will naturally squeeze everything towards the end, which is like today during HBL. So I think to counter this, one of the things I'll get the students to do is before the March holiday begins, they will arrange to meet. They will arrange and fix 3 dates to meet us immediately, so that they have those dates in mind and they have to meet us, as opposed to only when I complete, then I arrange to meet my mentor. So later on, I'll elaborate a little bit more about this, but I will tell the students that, and we can look forward to that or nudge our students on the 3 dates that they are supposed to arrange with us. Okay, so now what to expect. This is what I'm going to brief our teams and our students. First, during the March holidays, this is what they'll be doing. They've already sketched so many different prototypes. The idea now is to combine and bring together the best of the ideas so that they can decide what they want to build in term 2. So by the end of March holidays, this is what they should do. They should combine the different ideas that they find meaningful and feasible. Then they will create a new sketch that combines the best of all. And after that, they will show it to us. For those that are doing apps, they should create a final series of sketches to show the different app pages and all the features. So for example, if your group is doing a physical prototype, they should have a final prototype showing us the features that they hope to bring to life, combined from all the different group members' best ideas. For those that are doing apps, what would be good is that they can sketch the various pages of the interface to give us an idea of what they want to build. Okay, in term 2 week 1, then they should show us and meet us and show the combined idea or the refined sketch. And that's when we give them feedback. Okay, so term 2 week 1. Next is on building the prototype. Okay, previously, if you actually read the rubrics early at the start of the year, I think the rubrics required them to build a functional prototype by the end of term 2. But upon reflection and looking at the way our students work, the pace at which they work, I think that is quite hard. So instead, we are shifting the focus away from fully functional. The idea of the prototype they should build instead should be able to showcase the features that they want to make functional. Okay, so their prototypes, I emphasize, need not be fully functional yet, but it should be able to show the features that they hope to make functional, and it should be at least of a good quality. Okay, so what if your groups are building physical prototypes? What are the things they can use to make this first version? Number 1, they can make use of 3D printers. Number 2, they can make use of our laser cutters. Number 3, make use of recycled materials. For those that are making apps, they can use any app building software, any form of coding, need not be the particular software that the workshop taught them. Because some groups say that, that particular app software that they were taught to use has some limitations and they know how to use others. Feel free to go and use others. I will be sending our kids 2 QR codes, which can allow them to submit anything that you want to print in 3D or to cut in 2D. And you may be wondering, what kind of standard can we achieve with recycled materials? Actually, you can achieve quite amazing things. This is a hydraulic system made out of syringes, pipes, cardboard, and a few pins here and there. We can actually make a lot of things with things made of cardboard. I've collected a bunch of resources that our students can go to. So once again, you can direct them to the STEAMentor website. You can go to the Level Up Prototype tab. Because under Level Up Prototype, I've categorized a whole bunch of videos that can upskill them or give them inspiration. So let's say they want a 3D print, they can click on 3D print and see a lot of guides on how to create nice 3D prints. Or if they want inspiration, for example, what can I build in cardboard? They can click on cardboard builds and it can bring them to the page. They can give them a lot of features, ideas of what they can build in cardboard. Okay, as this is loading, I'll go back to this particular page. Okay, so in term 2, week 3, they should show us some form of progress rather than wait until term 2, week 5, then they start to rush their prototype. Because building is very different. They cannot quite rush things at the end. Okay, along the way, they should also constantly document their prototype process on the team website. This is a graded element. The idea of documenting their process is that we want them to constantly reflect on what they're doing and also be able to look back on the progress they've made. What do I mean by documenting their process? I mean that they can show their team prototype sketch, they can take photos of themselves building, they can show photos of their intermediate prototypes, they can even describe their building process. Next, another graded element as they are building their prototype is to also seek feedback from others. They can seek feedback from their target group, or they can find a proxy of their target group, like someone similar, or but the baseline is that they cannot seek feedback within their group. So actually, as long as our groups seek feedback on their prototype from other people, maybe other friends, other teams, that is good enough. The idea is that we want them to not just talk within themselves. They want to get external views on their prototype. Next, in term 2, week 5, they should also meet us face-to-face to demonstrate the features of their prototype. So what do I mean by demonstrate their features? No need to demonstrate the functionality yet. If they can, it's really, really a bonus. But they should focus at least on selling the features of their idea. If they say, for example, they want to create a button over here, they should be able to show that this part is going to have a button. But building the button, making it functional, that they can save it for term 3. So another thing they should also share about, therefore, is the areas they want to improve on by term 3. So we can find the updated rubrics inside the STEAMentor SOW and rubrics. Under the rubrics, we can see 4 categories, the things that I've been talking about. The first row is on process documentation. They should be documenting their entire prototyping process on the website. Number 2, evaluation. That is on seeking feedback from others. Number 3 is on the feasibility. When they present to us their demonstration, right, are their ideas going to be feasible? They say that they're going to put a button here, but actually the button, after you press, right, if it's going to create some fantastical thing that they cannot build at the end of the day, then it's not really feasible. So whatever features they're going to show us needs to be feasible. Last but not least is the demonstration. So as they demonstrate their prototype, they should show their understanding. They should be engaging, enthusiastic in selling the idea, the features clearly. So that's what we should see by the end of term 2, that they have a physical or digital prototype that can show the features. And if they can show some functionality, that's a bonus, but that can be saved for term 3. So this is an overview of what I said earlier. March holidays, they'll discuss as a team which prototype they want to build. They should have a lot of ideas by now. Term 2, week 1, they should meet us to discuss which idea they want to build, seek our feedback. After that, they'll start building their prototype. Term 2, week 3, they should meet us for progress update. Along the way, they should constantly document the prototype on their website, which will be graded. They should also seek feedback on their prototype from others, could be another team or proxy of their target group. This is graded. And finally, they should demonstrate their prototype to us. So actually, at the very least, they need to meet us face-to-face once in term 2, week 5. So this is what I'll be sharing with them. After their meeting, I'll tell them by today, please email your mentor to arrange for at least 3 checkpoints beforehand so that they do not wait until the last minute. Wait until I do already, then find my mentor, which often leads to very last minute work. So arrange for the dates early, and then they know that they have to meet those dates. The demonstration needs to be face-to-face. Other meetings can be over Zoom or face-to-face. And I received feedback from some mentors that some group members just don't turn up. It's always the same few people. So all members should attend the meetings, be it Zoom or face-to-face. Finally, as part of, they also will be doing peer feedback. The idea of peer feedback is to, number one, surveys to ask any students who are not doing their part as early as possible. Usually peer feedback is done all the way at the end, but this time around we split. We have two peer feedbacks, one at the midway and one at the end, so that we can see, we can tease out any issues, and also we can see improvement. And it's also for the students to also understand where they can improve on. I'll also be giving them some tips for term 2 on healthy teamwork, talking about how to plan their work timeline and to update their mentor regularly, and that they should take the initiative and not wait for instructions, and also ask whenever in doubt, rather than make assumptions. Okay, and I would like to give a preview of term 3. So earlier on, I said that they can build their prototypes in using 3D printing or laser cutting or recycled materials. But the ultimate goal is that we want their builds to be functional. So at the end of term 2, right before they go for their mid-year exams, they will submit a logistic list for their materials that they want to get to convert the prototype 1 into prototype 2. So that by the time their mid-year exam ends, I can provide them the logistics that they asked for. Over the June holidays, they can already start building version 2 to make it as functional as possible. So our students may start off with things like made out of cardboard and plastic, but the ultimate aim is that we want to see more refined prototype that can carry out some of the functions that they have asked, that they've demonstrated to us. That is the ultimate goal. And therefore, where should we pitch the end goal for our students? I think again we can go back to this these pair of siblings, Ingler and Ian Howe. They were nominated Singaporean of the Year. These two students who are currently the same age as our JH4s, they came up with a product called K-Mate. You see this little clip here? The idea of the clip is that they can clip it to umbrellas, and then the clip can clip onto poles, onto table sides. They built this and conceptualized this idea because they noticed a lot of elderly folks, they will hang their umbrellas at the edge using just this walking stick part. But the issue is that the umbrella always falls. Then when the elderly try to bend down, they may fall down. This simple observation is a real need. And these two students went on to create this prototype. And this prototype, although it looks very simple, comes with many features. Number one, it actually has a microchip detector, so that these elderly folks, if they get lost, those with dementia, they can be found by their family. Number two, there's also actually a QR code. So actually, if they do get lost, someone can scan a QR code and also help them find their way home. So actually, these students went through many versions of the prototype, and what they created here is 3D printed. So I think where we should pitch the project for our students when they come to us with all their ideas is it realistic? Can we achieve it by the end of term 3? If we cannot, then actually that's not a project they want to work on for this particular STEAMentor project. Because I do see some groups, they are designing things like aircon, right? It's very hard to build an entire aircon system. But if they think of building a small little pot that is filled with water that can allow cool air to be produced when hot air goes through, that sounds more feasible. I think the idea we want to push our students for is that let's build feasible and functional projects that can contribute and really see the impact on the school community. I think the ultimate goal is that we want to use their products in school. We want to see our students' products all over school, see our cleaners using it, see our lab techs using it, and I think then you'll see more relevance in what they're building. Later on, I would like to show you a sample of what one group is working on, and I think that's an idea that they can make come to life. So which brings us to the last part, STEAMentor Term 1. They have 2 deliverables that will come out tomorrow by 4 p.m. Their background study and prototype sketches. Okay, so these are kind of big tasks for them. But if I were to simplify and go back to the principle of why they are doing these 2 things, is number 1, for background study, is this a real problem? A lot of our students, when they join STEAMentor, they have a project in mind. They want to bring this project to life. But is this project going to solve a real problem? I think for many groups, they realize that the project they have in mind actually doesn't solve a problem that exists at all. they assume that this is a problem. So the idea of a background study is to really tease out, is this a real problem? And as we look through our group's work, we should see if they understand whether this is a real problem or not. Or did they force this problem out so that they can create their STEAMentor project? Number two, what's the point of the prototype sketches? A lot of students have been complaining, saying, wow, why come we have to do 10 prototype sketches? I think the idea is that we want them to brainstorm with effort. Very often when we ask our students to brainstorm, they stop short at maybe 2 or 3 ideas. But when we really ideate for prototypes, we need to ideate and really stretch the boundaries of the ideas. It can be a very simple idea, it could be a very far-fetched idea, but we want them to stretch themselves. And that's why 10 ideas per person. And this is individual work because we want everyone to really brainstorm and not have some slackers in the group that just write on the ideas of others. Because if everyone brainstorms, then everyone has a stake. Everyone can contribute to the discussion when they want to choose the best idea. But of course, I think 10 may be, we'll refine the number along the way. If 10 is too much, we may cut it down in the subsequent years. Okay, right now, I'd like to show 2 examples of websites that I've spotted that seem to be almost done. So eventually, this is an example of a website you may see. This is 407E. I'm not sure who's the mentor for this group, but typically, if you were to go to your group's website, this is what you'll see. You will see on the top right-hand corner a home button. You'll see About Us. You will see Background Study, and you will see Design Process. Under Design Process, you should see 3 tabs: Prototype Sketch, Version 1, and Version 2. Right now, they must complete Background Study tab as well as Prototype Sketch tab. The very first page, the home page, you can expect it to be quite empty because on this very page, they are asked to describe their target group and their motivation. However, they cannot fill in what the product aims to do, how the product works, or how the product is different yet, because they haven't decided what product they want to build. So this part is meant to be empty, but it should be filled by the end of term 2. If you click on their About Us page, this page also has, they don't need to complete it yet, but if they want to, they can. So this particular group, very cute, they've put in all their photos, they've give short little descriptions of themselves. I think the idea of having an About Us page is so that they can own this page. They feel like they are part of something and a part of a team. So this is what their About page could look like. If we go to their Background Study page, this is where they'll consolidate all the things they've been doing. This particular group has very nicely created a tab so that we can jump to the various sections. For example, if we click to our target group, it brings us there. If we click to our interview questions, it brings us there. This is the group demonstrating what they've learned from the Google Sites workshop. Actually, if we look at this particular group, we see that it's very wordy, right? Actually, it's very lengthy. They've done a very comprehensive job of doing a background study. Okay, so I think perhaps we'd like to emphasize that at the end of the day, it's not the quantity that matters, it's the quality of their background study. So we should not fault our students if they do not write a background study to this length. There's actually no need to really write to this length, but I think because they just came from Spire in year 3, they still carry with them many of the lessons they learned, which is a good thing. So they are very comprehensive and meticulous in their study. Okay, but over here, you should find the various things that you need to grade, from their problem statement to their needs identification, to their results and data analysis, interview questions, methodology, so on and so forth. Under Design Process, you should find Prototype Sketches. If you click on that, you should find their sketches. This particular group has chosen to organize their prototype sketch in this way, where if you click on each student's name, it will bring you to a new tab where you can find their sketches. So I've given the students liberty on how they want to organize their pages or how they want to present it. It's really up to them, but it should be organized in a way where you can find it easily. I'd like to give a sample of another group who has actually done their prototype sketches. So if we go to this particular group, 402C, click on Prototype Sketches, you can actually see this group has already begun their prototype sketching process. Okay, a bit of a lag. Okay, so actually, 10 prototype sketches. Do the ideas need to be very, very wild? Each idea be very, very wild and unique? Actually, not very necessary. It's not necessary. The idea of 10 ideas is that we want them to stretch their understanding, brainstorm as much as possible, varying different ideas. Each one could be a slight modification from each other. This group, for example, wants to improve the music stand inside the music rooms. And you can see from their sketches that they have 10 sketches. Each one explores a different way to modify and improve the music stand. We see that the sketches also come with annotations. The annotations give us an idea of how we can improve give us an idea as mentors on how each one of the idea works. So if our students are very worried, 10 sketches, is it very hard to do? This is the level that if our students can hit, is good enough, because we just want the students to brainstorm with effort. Okay. Of course, if we look at these three, I would say sketch number 2 shows the highest quality, followed by sketch number 1, and then followed by this last sketch. Because you look at the quality of the sketch, this student looks like he just did a very, very rough sketch. But for this one over here, shows that, put in effort to use ruler to draw out as much detail as possible. Okay, but the level that they need to achieve need not be very, very, very complicated. Okay, just want them to brainstorm with effort. Okay, so this is what we can expect to see for our team websites. I think at the moment we only have around 3 minutes left, but Albin and I would love to take some feedback from the ground on your experiences of what you've been feeling, and our student feedback, so that we can also improve for the next STEAMentor batch. And also answer any questions that you may have, or any challenges you may have. Sorry if I'm going very fast, because I don't want to extend the time. Yeah.
Can I start first?
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Just now, Nicholas, you mentioned that the objective of making this whatever they want to design, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I have a group. They know that how to put it? They know that the thing that they are designing actually is the objective is basically to make the classroom cleaner. Okay. Yeah. And they know that currently the classroom does has the cleaning features, equipment to clean the classrooms. Yeah. However, they still want to do the project because it's not that the current cleaning thing equipment is not good. It's just that because it's students, and they just want something more interesting, innovative, and that is why they want to design.
Understand.
Is this considered a good reason?
I see. So what you are bringing across is that this doesn't sound like a real need, but they feel like it is a need.
Yeah, and they do have data to back up the students know. Yes, they have the example. They have the broom and dustpan. Yes, they know they need to use broom and dustpan to sweep the floor. But they will. The students do want something a bit kind of more interesting, so that that interesting thing will intrinsically motivate them to clean the classroom.
Yeah.
So it's not really a need, but it can kind of motivate them.
Yeah. I think if the group is able to justify that this is a need, or it can improve something that is lacking, which is in this case, what is lacking is that the motivation to clean, right? Then it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, can. I got another group who is intending to design an app. Okay.
Yeah.
They also know that this app, they wanted to work on the library catalog. Okay, they know that it is, they know students don't borrow books, but they know that this app is useful because they can possibly think of extending using this app on other maybe services required by the school.
Yeah.
So just wondering if this could also be a possibility of maybe not necessarily a need in this particular area, but it could be it could necessarily be something that other parts of the schools can actually consider.
I think at the end of the day, when we look at their background study, If they can show us that what they want to work on is justifiable and that their motivations are sound and that at the end of the day, it does tackle something that surfaces from their study and their research, right, is okay. So I think this need not be a need that is the thing that is a root problem. It could be something that that is true and is real. Yeah. So the idea is that it has to be real. It cannot be a fake problem.
Got it. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you, Zoe. Other mentors, do you have any queries or any feedback you have for us? I think some mentors have given me feedback about groups not meeting with them timely. So I think that's one of the things I'm going to speak to them about and arrange for meetings earlier.
Sorry, Nicholas, I just share with you. I think one of the group come to me and they told me there's this idea. They have 2 ideas and do 5 sketches each. I was like thinking, what is idea? After that, I think I clarified with them. Their idea is like really 2 things. Like for example, in the lab, they want to do like 2 things. Maybe improve the sink, then improve the whiteboard or something like that. There's 2 things. Then they draw 5 sketches each. I think this is not what we want, right? We only want them to concentrate on one thing. Like for example, you want to improve the sink of the lab, then you improve the sink of the lab.
I see. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that your group, right, has 2 ideas they want. They have 2 problems actually. Sounds right?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was telling them. Only concentrate on one.
Understand. So it sounds like they have 2 problems, and therefore they are now going to have they now in their 10 sketches they need to split like 5-5, right? Yeah. So I think for the students, what would be helpful would be if they focus on one problem, which is a more pressing need.
Okay, understand. Yeah. So just to check out, if really some groups really never tell me what they are really trying to do. They only give me a brief background, so they haven't really decided on the main thing. They only tell me like this is the target, I've got this issue. So in the end, when they do their prototype and stuff like that, then we find that it's not very relevant.
Yeah.
Can they still change to do another thing? Or
can. Yeah. So I think it's still okay. So I think that term 2 week 1 is the point where we need to really do a double check. So right now, right, if they all do their prototype sketches and their ideas are a little bit too far-fetched and very hard to achieve, right, it's still okay. But the idea here is that we wanted them to brainstorm with effort. So when they meet us in term 2 week 1 and then they show us their idea, if it's not too feasible, we can still discuss with them, give them feedback, and we can still change it up. Or so I think term 2 week 1 is where we will catch them where if their ideas are a little bit too far-fetched, because that's when they need to build already. And I think the building part is the more scary part. But now brainstorming can be a little bit more wild. Is that okay, Jimin?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I think mentors, I think Melvin and I just have 1 point to make for the rubrics, which we envision that maybe we may have some difficulty grading on. If we go to data representation and analysis, there's 1 segment, mathematical statistical analysis is applied appropriately. Okay, this is under data analysis. So I understand if you were to look at your group's work, this is what you may see. You may go to background study and then you may scroll down and then you may see something like that. Okay, I think a lot of students will do something like that. They will show bar charts or they may show pie charts. And what they will do is on the right-hand side or below, they will give a description or analysis of what they have done or represented. So Alvin and I were discussing on the idea of mathematical, whether they've applied any mathematical analysis. So if your group did not apply mathematical analysis, but their analysis is in depth and they did analyze what their results are showing, what they are representing, and they've showed that, demonstrated that they've analyzed it to a certain depth, we can still award them accordingly, even if they did not use any mathematical analysis at this point. So I think this is 1 thing we want to take note of. The next STEAMmaker batch that we're going to work with, perhaps you want to make it more clear or imbue with them some mathematical analysis that they can apply. But for this particular batch, if they show that they analyze their data, even if it's in writing, that will be okay. Just to reassure us as markers. Okay, so I've overrun by 5 minutes. But if anyone has any more personal questions that you'd like to give or any feedback, feel free to stay behind, and Alvin and I will be very happy to help out. But other than that, if our team start to ask us for more questions today, right? Because I suspect all of them are using HBL for this. If we have any questions, just feel free to put in the chat group so we can all help each other out. And I've been collating the Q&A list so that we can all see it at one go. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's it. I would like to thank everyone for joining us this morning. If you have anything that you would like to share personally, feedback or questions, feel free to stay on a bit longer. But for those that are quite happy and satisfied with what's going to happen in the future, then you may also go on with your day and have a good breakfast if you have not.
Thank you, Nicholas and Alvin.